Hello friends, welcome to ADO.NET tutorial. In this video, we will explore how to set primary and foreign key relationship between two ADO.NET objects. We know that ADO.NET works with disconnected data. Once data is loaded, front end disconnects from the database. When we load data between two related tables, say customers, that's one table, and orders, that's another table, we should also set up the referential integrity within ADO.NET, because ADO.NET works in a disconnected data, right? So when you are working with disconnected data, the referential integrity needs to be set with the ADO.NET so that we can avoid last minute surprise when saving the data. We must set the primary key as well as foreign key between these two tables, right? Customers and orders. So the customer will be the primary key, and orders table refers the customer name, let's state, right? There is one record, let's state some product, a specific quantity 4 placed by customer ID C1, right? So that means this is the order table entry and it refers the primary key C1, right, from customers table. In our example, each employee works for a publisher, right? So we already saw in our employee table, we will be having the pub ID, right? That means every employee is referring a publisher entry. That means once we know an employee record, we can state the employee is working for a specific publisher, right? In our example, each employee works for publisher as per the pubs DB design, right? This is our employee table, and if you see in our employee table, we will be having the publisher ID, right? And this publisher ID, let's take 1736, and this will refer a specific publisher ID, right? So we call this as a foreign key, and here publisher ID is the primary key. This means employee table references publisher table, right? Employee table is referring the publisher table. So by setting up the primary foreign key relationship in the ADO.NET front end itself, we can avoid the referential integrity violation. Say for example, here publisher ID is 1736. If I enter publisher ID as -102, definitely that column will not be here in the publisher. So such a error entry can be avoided in the front end itself by setting the primary and foreign key relationship. And in the later sub-series, we will see how we can use this relationship to navigate the data. Alright, let's won't confuse those here, but for now, since we are learning about the constraint, let us see how to set up primary foreign key relationship, and we will explore how we can avoid the error, and we can maintain the data integrity when editing the primary key table with the publisher ID, and how the value get changed here in the referring table. All those stuff we will explore now. In this video, we will set the primary and foreign key relationship between publisher and employee grids. Let's go to the demo. Okay, we are back to our example. Now we will implement the primary key foreign key relationship. The table we are referring is employee table constraints.add, and we are adding the foreign key. We know that we already have primary key in our publisher table, right? So when we are loading the data, that time itself we added the primary key constraints for our publisher as well as employee table. In publisher table, pub ID is the primary key. In employee table, emp ID is the primary key. In employee table, we have a column called publisher ID as well. Right. So we will make this as a foreign key now. Here, if you see, that's why we picked the employee table, ConstraintsCollection, add primary key name, I mean the constraint name, F key, employee to pub. So that's how we named the constraint name. This is just a name. You can name it as you like. All right. The first parameter is name. You can see that here. And the second parameter is the primary key column, and third one is the foreign key column. So primary key column, we are making use of the publisher table and picking the publisher ID. So this will act as a primary key column. Foreign key, employee table, columns, pub ID, right? The publisher ID in the employee table will refer the column of publisher ID in the publisher table. That's why here we are giving the foreign key column. Foreign key column is the third parameter, right? And we are giving that from our employee table. The publisher ID in our employee table is the foreign key. Publisher ID in the publisher table is the primary key. So the advantage now is, let's state, we'll go to load data, right? Now let me try to add a column. Of course, we need to set the primary foreign key relationship. So I just clicked here. Now let me type ABC123, a name, and some date here. And if you see, now I will give a key that doesn't exist in the publisher table. So here I'm giving 100. 100 is not here, right? Let's click outside and we will be seeing the error. The error states that foreign key constraint F key emp2 pub requires a child key value 100 to exist in the parent table. The 100 is not there in the parent table, right? So let's add 100 here. 100. A pub. Right. Now we have publisher ID 100 here. Let me create an entry. This time it will allow. Right. Since we have a this is the referring entry 100, right? The employee, let's state ABC. Employee ABC works for the publication APUB, right? Now let's see what happens. 1736 is there, right? Some modification is going on here, 1736, and this is changed at 1734. Here if you see 1736 is there, and when I click outside you can see 1734 is shown here, right? So this update cascade is by default happening to the referring table. That's one useful thing. And let's go here and see what happens. Let me have one more entry. There are 2 employees referred in the primary key table. Now what happens, I'm picking this record, right, and hitting the delete button. So what happens, the referred record also got deleted here. So that's the use of setting up the primary and foreign key relation. So the integrity is maintained between these 2 tables. All right. That's all here in this video. We are ending up this sub-series. That's all here in this video. Thank you for watching. Bye.